think we're live.
We are.
So we're here live today. I'm missing somebody. Lisa's not here, so I'm flying solo today. Well, we got the crew here, so it's just us, minus Lisa. So today I'm looking at a Instagram reel that's I posted, I believe yesterday or the day before, and it's got 6.4 million views now. It just got 100,000 views in the last like 10 minutes, and it's on the Expert Stain and Seal machine. So, and there's kind of like this reoccurring theme every time I post, something on this, that this thing is going to be an absolute mother of pain to clean, and it's not going to be worth it because it's going to take you hours, days, whatever. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Somebody said, hey, make a video on cleaning it, and that video is actually coming, but I'm going to talk about it and how easy it actually is to clean. And then another like common thing that keeps popping up in the threads every time I post something using this machine is, oh my gosh, you're leaving fingerprints all over, what a joke, you're stacking them in the grass is gonna stick, they're gonna but it's kind of like the predominant thing is fingerprints. I'm going to talk about that, why there is actually no fingerprints. So I'm looking to see if it pops up where I could actually monitor questions and stuff, but I don't see anything. So my crew is actually, if you have any questions, just ask them, and they'll be asking me or telling me your question, and I can answer your questions. So I want to talk about the Expert Stain and Seal machine and the cleaning process, how easy it is, how fast it is, and it's kind of like maybe similar to just cleaning out an airless sprayer, which if you spray fences, you got to set up and clean up an airless sprayer. The setup and cleanup of the stain and seal machine is similar, maybe a little bit longer than airless sprayer, but not much. So, let me know if you got any questions about this, and if you want to get off what I'm talking about topic-wise, just ask me any questions you want. I'm here to answer any questions about painting or I don't know, anything. If you want to ask anything, just go ahead and ask. So, and we'll determine whether you want to answer it. So, the stain and seal machine, if you don't even know what I'm talking about and you haven't seen the video, it's I posted it on TikTok, I posted it on Facebook this morning, and that's starting to go off and go viral. I've posted on YouTube, I posted on Pinterest, posted on X, it's everywhere. So what it is it's a machine. It's a non-motorized machine. It's manually fed, and I'm using it to pre-stain pickets before you install a fence. Now, you could pre-stain a fence before you install a fence, a pergola, a deck. You can actually use this Expert Stain and Seal machine to paint trim, so you can use it for latex paints and stains, oil or water-based. So there's a lot of different uses, and you can actually feed, I believe it's up to a 6x12 stock of lumber through it. So like if you're doing a pergola, obviously you could have 4x6 posts, whatever. You can feed all these different things through there. Just a couple simple thumb screws, adjust your brushes and adjust your roller, and you can pre-stain it. It's super fast. It stains all the ends, both edges, top and bottom, in one pass. Absolutely efficient. And I'm actually using the machine with a product from the same company, Expert Stain and Seal Oil. The oil is a non-drying, self-leveling oil, and that kind of answers a little bit about why it leaves no fingerprints, why you can actually immediately stack it. You can stand them. It's not going to run. You can spray the product on fences. It doesn't have to be back rolled. You can load it on if it starts to run. It's a penetrating oil that literally will actually penetrate all the way through the picket to the other side over time. So, and I'll talk about what what it is about the oil where it doesn't leave fingerprints when you're handling it, pushing it through and pulling it out. But cleanup of the product, we'll talk a little bit about the cleanup, now. And once again, if you've got a question, we got a question here.
John Hughes wants to know what it's called.
What the machine is called? So, if you're asking what it is called, the machine is called the Expert Stain and Seal Machine. So, in the company that sells it, they actually stain fences, so they're called the Stain and Seal Experts. They sell the oil, which is called Expert Stain and Seal Oil. And so it's an oil-based product. They got a whole wide variety of colors. They've got it in transparent, semi-transparent, semi-solid, I believe. Probably the best product I've ever used to stain a deck. I've done multiple videos. I've just recently posted like a week ago doing a deck. Recently did a black fence with it. So if that's the question, if it's what the machine is called, then that's what it is. Expert Stain and Seal Machine. If you want to see the cost, it's actually sold at Paint Life Supply Co. Go to paintlifesupply.com and you can see how much it costs. I guess my crew could look it up and then I can tell you. I think it's $3,000 somewhere in that, $3,600. I don't know. They'll figure it out and then we can, and I'll tell you here in a moment. So,
someone wants to know what are the different types of things you can put through the machine.
So, you can put through what you see me actually doing is customer had a privacy fence, so we're running the 2x4s through and we're running through the pickets, the rough sawn cedar pickets. So you can run any type of wood product through there that you want to pre-stain or pre-paint. Now somebody called our store the other day and said, hey, I want to do solid color latex stain on siding and it's a water-based product. Can I actually run latex water-based products through it? Yes, you actually can. So it will paint. So I don't have experience doing it, but when I researched the machine before I actually got a hold of one to test it, it says you can pre-paint trim with it. So say interior trim, if you've got a lot of baseboards you want to pre-paint. So one of the things about it is it's not a sprayed finish, it's a rolled then back brushed finish. So it's going to go through, it's got 4 rollers that it goes through, so it rolls top and bottom, then it rolls both edges. I actually touch the ends of the picket, so I touch one end, touch the other end, then I feed it. So you'll actually see me do that in the video. So there's a lot of different things you can use it for. Pre-staining a deck before you install the deck, because if you see me, the video I just posted a week ago, I stained a deck with Expert Stain and Seal oil. One of the unfortunate things is the side edges don't get 100% covered because the deck is built. The bottom doesn't get coated because it's not exposed. So if you pre-stain it, the whole piece of wood gets stained and protected, so it's going to be better for the wood. One of the unique things about Stain and Seal Expert oil is staining the deck. It's literally going to continue penetrating in that wood for a long period of time. It will eventually penetrate through to the other side because it is a non-drying oil. So it never dries. It continues to penetrate. So hopefully that answered the question. Any more questions?
Someone wants to know if there's a better machine out there.
So is there a better machine? I actually posted a machine on Facebook that is different. It's actually a motorized machine that actually sprays the product on. So if you want a sprayed on finish and you want to just put it through, it grabs it, it feeds it through the other side, and you can grab it. So the difference is sprayed. Watching the machine, I actually saw it live. I went to the National Hardware Show and saw it in person, and I couldn't believe the amount of overspray of water. It was water that was being generated by the spray guns, which I would foresee being a major problem. The other thing is cost difference. I would think that machine probably would be around $50,000. It's this large machine that is stationary, non-portable. It would be used in a high production shop. And so the expert stain and seal machine is a unit. One person could pick it up, put it in the back of the truck. It's mobile, and it's, I don't believe it's any more than $4,000. So there's a major cost difference, and the portability difference. So when the first time I used the machine, I did a privacy fence up in the mountains. I just threw it in the back of my truck, threw the stain in the back of my truck. Didn't, only needed a few things, a brush and some other things. Drove to the job site, pre-stained it right there, stacked it right there, took off. The installers installed it a week later, so you can pre-stain it, and then it can sit for any period of time, to be installed. Now, one of the cool things, when I started using it, I started thinking, man, I could actually get in the business of pre-staining lumber for fence companies that don't want to stain their fences. So the company, it was Lake Fork Fence that installed the fence, and I asked them, hey, would you be interested in one of these machines? Is this something you would use? And they said, they do occasionally pre-stain, and they pre-stain in their shop, and they said they just hand brush and roll it. They said it's an absolute pain in the neck. They hate doing it. They said they weren't interested in the machine, but they said they would actually pay me to show up with the machine every time they had a job to pre-stain the lumber, so they didn't have to do it. And so probably 2 jobs, I'd probably pay for the machine itself. So that's an opportunity that came up with the first fencing company that saw me using it. So any more questions at all?
Not so far.
Who's the does that say like where anybody's from that's out there? Can you see the feed? Like shout out to anybody.
Jeremy Yen says hey.
Jeremy Ann.
And one person just also had another question.
Another question. So,
what is your preference brand of stripper for antique furniture, like an old dresser with drawers and fold-out doors?
So by far the best stripper I've ever used in my life is a Kibosh, and it's a water-based product, eco-friendly, doesn't burn your skin. You can actually use it indoors. It's almost, they claim it's no odor, but it's not. It's low odor. I used it last winter stripping a table that I was stripping, and it was in the house for 2 days. Not a problem at all. And so absolutely amazing. It will strip multiple layers of coat and of product in one application. It'll strip lacquers, varnishes, paints, and I believe it'll strip like 5 layers of paint and I think like 30 minutes, something like that, 45 minutes. So it'll strip, I think, like 15 layers of paint in an hour. One of the really cool things about it is it hangs extremely well. So you can brush it on, I brushed it on the legs of the table, brushed it on super thick, and it doesn't run. And it just hung there. And it will stay active for over 24 hours. So I coated the entire table. That had like 5, 6, 7 coats, I can't remember, of products on it. It had industrial enamel on it. It had a clear coat polyurethane on it. It had a wax stain, on it. So there was multiple coats of product on there. Woke up next day, stripped right off with a plastic stripper, just scraped right off. And then because it's water-based, I took the table outside, washed it with water, and it stripped down to bare wood. It looked like it was a wood similar to this. You can watch the video. I did a video on it, how easy it was. I can't say enough about it. By far the best paint, varnish, lacquer stripper I've ever used. So Kibosh, K-A-B-O-S-H. You can get it at Paint Life Supply Co. at paintlifesupply.com. So yeah, we're here to answer questions. The main thing was, the stain and seal expert machine that I posted on Instagram, right when we started the live show. Is at 6.4 million views. Just refresh the screen and see it's still at 6.4 million views. If you want to see it, it's on Instagram, TikTok. I mean, I've posted many times, on it, because I think the machine is absolutely incredible. Especially, if you want to not get involved with overspray. So overspray is a major liability. So, if you want to stain fences, you know, when you're actually staining a fence and it's already installed, you can't get the bottom of the fence because it's so close to the ground. You can never get the underside. It's really difficult to get the top sides. If they're really close installed together, you can't get the edges very well. And then on the post, where it's installed on the post, you can't get the posts where the picket's installed on the post. So this guarantees you're going to get both ends, both sides, both edges and both sides, and it absolutely saturates the picket in one pass. Now, I'll talk about the other thing that, you know, is kind of like the common, you know, theme, the common question, common statement was, oh my gosh, you're putting fingerprints all over it, and you know, what a joke. And or, you know, I was stacking them because I'm up stacking them, you know, for an hour, then I'm down stacking them after an hour because I just want them stacked, you know, in one place, you know, for the installers, you know, wherever they, you know, dump them. I'm just going to down stack them back where they dumped them. So Expert Stain and Seal Oil, I said it in the beginning, it's a self-leveling, non-drying oil. So it's what self-leveling means is if you absolutely just dump it on, you know, the fence and you start to get it to run, it's going to self-level. The run's going to level itself out. It's going to penetrate into the fence. The run is literally going to absolutely disappear without actually back brushing it. Same with a fingerprint. I'm going to grab this thing. I'm wearing rubber gloves. I always wear latex gloves because I don't want, you know, to get the oil on my hand. It's an eco-friendly oil that it doesn't have a very strong odor. A lot of the oils I've used in the past, you know, like burn my eyes and have strong odors and kind of make me sick. Stain and Seal, the Expert Stain and Seal oil does not. But yeah, when I pull it out, there is a thumbprint, there's handprints on it when I upstack it, but literally, you know, every single thumbprint, every single handprint, every single fingerprint self-levels. It continues to penetrate in because the thumbprint kind of leaves like a heavy, you know, spot around your thumb where you're grabbing it, but it self-levels itself. And so that's one of the amazing things about Expert Stain and Seal oil. So now I can't say, you know, it's not going to leave thumbprints, handprints, you know, with other products that are drying and non-self-leveling, because you put a print on there, you go to upstack it, it's really hot outside, you know, it's going to begin drying extremely fast. So yeah, you probably will leave, you know, thumbprints and handprints on it. But if you are using the Expert Stain and Seal machine, or thinking about buying one, you'll use Expert Stain and Seal oil with it, and you're not going to have any issues. Now, same with upstacking it in the grass. It's an eco-friendly product. It's not going to damage the grass. It's not bad for the environment, and it's non-drying, so it's not going to dry to the grass. And it's so when you lift up the picket to down stack it, you're not going to have grass stuck to it. If there was like somehow grass actually stuck to the end, the oil is going to continue penetrating through it. It's non-drying, so you could just flick off the leaf or whatever, and it's not going to be an issue. And I think somebody, you know, said you're just stacking it in the dirt. Well, the fence picket is eventually going to be setting in the dirt at some point in time, or close to it, you know, when it's installed. So it's really not an issue. And, you know, if you don't believe me, we did a video, you know, on the thumbprints and stuff like that. And so all you gotta do is just look at the final product. You know, like a lot of people do, you know, with my content, they like to screenshot my content, zoom into it, point arrows all over it, draw red arrows and say, oh my gosh, look at the runs, look at all the flaws. All you gotta do is do the same thing. If you're a skeptic, screenshot it, zoom in, and you will not find one thumbprint, not one handprint, not one blade of grass stuck to the fence. So, and that's 100% guaranteed. Any more questions?
Someone asked, they said their main business is pressure washing. They've treated homes in the past for other painters but never painted yet themselves. Are there paint-specific products for aluminum siding that should be paired?
So aluminum siding, so I'll bring up aluminum siding and vinyl siding. So aluminum siding, a lot more forgivable than vinyl siding. So vinyl siding, you can actually destroy the vinyl siding if you put on a non-vinyl safe color to it. So, but aluminum siding, like vinyl siding, both of them can be painted. Both of them, almost 100% of the time, are going to be chalky when you go to paint them, so you need to resolve that issue. Like if you rub your hand on it and you got like a chalky residue on there, that is going to cause a problem with paint adhesion, so you got to deal with that. Typically what we do is we power wash with a rotating nozzle. The rotating nozzle is going to agitate the surface. It's going to wash off a bulk of that chalky residue off the surface. It's not going to wash off 100%. I've never once in my career sat there and scrubbed an entire structure, which is impractical, and a lot of it you can't do. Like the last aluminum sided structure I did was a commercial building, and there's no way you could reach it all to scrub it all, so it's impractical to do. But if you power wash it really good with a rotating nozzle, and Paint Life Supply Co. sells them, the red rotating industrial nozzle that has a filter on it, use that. It's going to agitate it, it's going to clean it pretty darn good, but not 100%. Now you need to use a proper paint and a proper additive to go along with it. So if after it's dry and you're done with it and you rub your hand on there and there's almost no chalkiness to it on your hands, then I'm pretty comfortable using Benjamin Moore Aura. In the video that I did, I used Benjamin Moore Aura, and it was it'll actually stick to like slightly chalky metal siding. Aura will stick to vinyl siding, it'll stick to metal siding, it'll stick to composite siding. It'll, all different, all the different substrates out there. It's a great product. Bear Dynasty, I would be comfortable spraying Bear Dynasty, on the aluminum or vinyl siding. Also, you got dogs barking. So there is, if you rub on the vinyl siding, Rainy, got the guard dog, so she's barking. So there are additives you can add to it, and one that I actually did in the metal sided building. If you go back, watch that video, it was probably the most severely chalked sided building that or building that I ever did painted. I wasn't comfortable just putting the paint over the top of it, so I added Emulsibon. Emulsibon is a product designed to help paint stick to chalky surfaces. So when it was all said and done, I did a block test on it. It stuck perfectly. So if you're uncomfortable, with applying, paint, without an additive, use Emulsibon. But I would highly recommend Benjamin Moore Aura. I coupled Benjamin Moore Aura, with Emulsibon, and I used the Emulsibon because there was, places, really high places, it was hard to actually even power wash well enough. It's a lot easier to get, close to a surface down low and agitate it well and clean it well versus, up high, because I actually did kind of like, it's not the roof, but the part that kind of looks like the roof and kind of the facade on front of the building, above the brick. So hopefully that answers your question. Maybe that was pretty thorough. So any more questions?
No, there's a few people chiming in from different places all around. There's Jay Tiger from Central Mississippi.
Jay Tiger representing Central Mississippi in the house.
There's Hamish from Australia.
Wow, we got Australia. That's like on the other side of the world. So it's winter here, so I think it should be summer in Australia. I'm pretty sure. So
DJ Rock On from New Jersey says hello.
New Jersey's representing in the house. This is your time to answer questions. It's the question and answer session right here on Paint Life TV. So we're here talking about the expert sand and seal machine. We'll see, like I just posted it on Facebook. Let's see what Facebook is doing now. Facebook. I just posted a little while ago, and it's been a while since I've had like a video go viral, but 289,000 views now, on Facebook, and it was posted, this morning. YouTube starting to get a lot of views, but Instagram is the one platform I hate the most, and so it's so frustrating. Instagram, but it just seems it's been so stagnant, like trying to get followers on Instagram. But this video, let's see what the views are now. We'll see if we've got another 100,000. Yep, now we're at 6.5 million. So just since we started the live show, it's got another 100,000 views on it, and we'll see what we got. 287 comments. It's got 22.7 thousand likes, and it's got 5,578 shares. So that one is still going nuts. It may end up, who knows, it could end up topping the video. I think the one on Instagram I've got the most views ever, 12.2 million on Instagram. But followers, let's see, it looks like I've gained several thousand followers, just from that one video. So as much as I dislike Instagram, that video is actually doing pretty well. So that's kind of cool to see. Anymore?
I might butcher the pronunciation, but Ari Masterly says they watched your videos all the time when they first started spraying and taking their business seriously. Big thanks from Toronto.
Toronto in the house. So watched a lot of our videos, and it's helped their business. So that's what we do. What we do is to help you guys out. So that's kind of like my passion, is to just pass on the knowledge that I gained as a self-taught painter. I started painting. I started my own painting company. Never worked for a painter before. Just started, and it was 5 years of heartaches and struggles, getting kicked off job sites, getting fired by builders, and just learning the trade on my own. So it gave me the perspective of how not to do things, how to fix the things you did bad, and then how to actually do things and do it the right way. So or not necessarily I won't say the right way, the way that worked for me, and for my company, and that works for me now, that just produces happy customers, satisfied customers. And so it's just a way that is made me fast and efficient, as a painter, and is just another way you can do things. I mean, there's a bazillion ways you can cut a line, roll a wall, and I wouldn't say, maybe none of them are really right or wrong, or just whatever works for you. So the content that I create and produce is just for you to watch and attempt to try, and it may work for you. And if it does, use it, and if it doesn't,
Sorry. Okay, now we have sound back. One of the questions was, have you had any experience with fine paints of Europe? I've noticed a great interest in high gloss finishes.
So I've had experience with fine paints of Europe. Here, it's an absolutely incredible product, and there are some people out there that have actually mastered the product and are making a lot of money applying the product. So there's a big process to applying it, and you got to go through that process, and apply it in a clean environment, because one of the big things article that is going to be on the surface. So you've got to, be careful when, applying the product. Now, somebody that's absolutely mastered it and his crew is ZK Painting. I've met him, talked to him. He applies a lot of the product and does really well applying it. Here in the market in Boise, Idaho, there's not a lot of people, very few, if any, that will pay $9,000 to have their front door, restored and refinished. So, there has to be the market for it, the clientele, the people with money to apply it, because if you're going to apply it on walls, if you're going to apply it on cabinets, the process is going to be significantly longer. It's going to have to be a dust-free environment. There's going to be a lot to it, involved to applying it. But if you get it done and get it right, there's absolutely nothing that really can compare to their gloss finish. Absolutely incredible product. So, yeah. So when the sound was off, did I need to go back and re-answer a question, or?
Nobody's said anything that like they didn't catch. It was only off for about like 10-15 seconds.
Okay. So if the sound went off, when I was answering a question, and just let us know, and I can go back and re-answer it. I don't even remember what question I was talking about. Maybe who knows? But we're here to answer your questions, and
there's a somewhat long question here.
Long one. So we got a long one. So here we go.
What's the best oil-based paint to keep water from penetrating into the spackle and paint to stop it from bubbling? I had luck with Sherwin-Williams Pro Block, but not their PVA primer. The 20 gallons I used turned out to be 20 days of work repairing all the bubbling paint. It worked fine on fresh drywall, but not on any plaster walls. The building's 25,000 square feet, and I painted the bigger rooms myself, excluding the gyms.
So, when it comes to oil-based paints, I don't use a lot of oil-based products or chemical-based products anymore, just in general, because liability, a lot of issues with liability, a lot of issues with overspray carrying, long distances, dry times, cleanup, flammability, blowing houses up, and that's not a joke, and that's actually happened. One of the students that came to one of my academies, live academies, his nephew, blew up a log cabin, using lacquers. And so I've steered away from using, oil-based products outside. I steered away from using oil-based products on fences, but recently got introduced to Expert Sand and Seal oil for fences. Absolutely love the product. Now, as for an oil-based top coat, early in my career, I used oil-based top coats, and man, I just like the smell. Even for your health, not wearing proper, respirators and stuff like that. There's a lot of bad stuff about oil-based products. I'll talk about oil-based primers now. An oil-based primer, because I couldn't really recommend an oil-based top coat, in that situation, but a PVA primer, because I heard PVA come up. A PVA primer, the only thing a PVA primer does, it's a polyvinyl acrylic, it seals bare drywall. And so it's just a drywall sealer, because drywall is like, it's like rock. It's this real underneath the paper. It's this extremely porous surface that's just going to suck up the acrylic out of the paint, and it's going to make it so your walls are blotchy. The resin in the paint is going to just continue soaking in. You want to seal that paper and that rock, so your top coat will come out even, and all the expensive resin won't just absorb into your drywall and basically effectively use your top coat as a primer, and it still won't even actually prime like a PVA. A PVA does nothing other than seal that rock. It doesn't do anything else. So it's good. Bare drywall should always be, like a new construction, should be sealed with a PVA. Now, an oil-based primer I've got experience with, Zinsser makes absolutely amazing products. Zinsser 123 is a water-based product. Ben is an alcohol-based product. Cover Stain is an oil-based product. Mold Killing Primer is water-based, and those are all from Zinsser. Peel Stop is water-based. Cover Stain is an oil-based cover stain, so it's a stain blocking primer that resolve all kinds of issues and blocking issues, adhesion issues. It's good for sticking to hard to stick to surfaces. It's good for priming bare wood. It will be good for priming, over the top after you've primed your bare drywall with PVA primer. It's gonna seal your rock. If you've got bubbling issues and stuff, it's going to be a good primer, over your drywall to top coat it. Now, would I use Cover Stain? In that situation, I would probably steer towards 1, 2, 3 because I like water-based products. I like to be able to clean up easier. I don't like the smell, but they all those primers I named off, they all serve different purposes and stuff, but Cover Stain is a good all-around primer that I would recommend if you're wanting an oil-based product. So hopefully that answered your question. If that didn't fully answer your question, just ask it again, and say, hey, you didn't answer this part. So let's see, any other, I addressed with the Stain and Seal Experts oil, I addressed, the handprint issue, addressed there was another thing, so down stacking people, I saw this comment, I immediately down stacked, a lot of the lumber, and the issue is somebody said, oh my gosh, now it's all gonna stick, it's all gonna tack. So it won't, once again, because I made the comment in the fact that it's non-drying. So because it's non-drying and it's a penetrating oil, it's continuing to penetrate in the wood and it'll never stick, tack. It doesn't get it doesn't start to get gummy and stuff like that. So the oil inside, when you're cleaning up the stain machine, that doesn't get gummy either. It stays, a thin consistency, and you literally could just set the machine aside and actually take crocodile wipes and just wipe it out a week later to clean it up. And it's going to be just as easy to clean a week later as it is to clean, right away. Another thing I got to say about Stain and Seal Experts, I saw somebody made a comment, about, I was doing the deck with Stain and Seal Experts and I was wiping it all with the rags, bundling the rags up. I actually personally have the experience of catching a deck on fire and grass on fire because we went to lunch, had our rags in a bucket, and it was over 100 degrees outside. The bucket spontaneously combusted, caught the rags on fire, caught the grass on fire, caught the deck on fire. So I learned from experience, that spontaneous combustion is real, could do a lot of damage. And one of the things I learned about Stain and Seal Experts oil is the flash point on their oil is significantly higher. And I did a video recently, I think it was like 100 degrees compared to 500 degrees, and don't quote me on that, but I think that's the difference. And if you go back and watch the video I post on YouTube, it gives you the exact numbers, but the flash point is so high that it literally will not spontaneously combust, sitting outside of it in 105 degrees. So you don't have to worry about, piling your rags together, stacking them in a bucket and, burning a house down, burning your trailer down, or burning the garbage can up, because the rag's spontaneously combusting. So if you're concerned about that, you don't believe that number is true, and you're using any type of oil-based products, it's always good to just throw them in a bucket, add water to the bucket, and that solves the problem. So any more questions?
Zachary Anderson is wondering, he says he has an opportunity to finish and paint several 3-car garages, new construction with just a fire coat. Is this a job you would like to take on? Why or why not?
Yeah, those are easy jobs. So one of the last interiors I did was a garage. So it was a 3-car garage. Same kind of thing. The guy wanted he was going to epoxy his floors, and just wanted his garage to look really cool. And usually they're just fire taped. I would never My garage is inside is painted epoxy floor. They're usually fast and easy jobs to do, and if you bid them right, they're usually good money makers, because it's usually a half a day job, and I usually just spray it. I'm just going to go in, and a lot of times what's interesting in the past, we never got rid of our paints. I have a big storage facility that had probably $100,000 worth of paint in it, and all the leftover paint would go in there, and a lot of them are just whites, and we would just, box all the whites together, interior whites, and just come up with an off-white, and we would just spray them, the garage with that. And usually a garage, I use a product from Rada, which I really liked on the last garage, and I think it was called Wall Pro. And first time I ever used it, I just said, hey, went in there, don't have a lot of experience with your products, and what would be great for a garage, and that's just bare drywall, and I'm not going to PVA prime it. I'm just going to shoot on one coat. Wall Pro, and when I say one coat, I blast it pretty heavy because it's bare drywall. I just load it on one coat. Came out even sheen, looked absolutely amazing. Even on tape seams, tape lines, looked amazing. It depends on how you bid it. I mean, you could go to the extent of skimming over the fire tape and texturing the walls. It depends on the client's expectations, but to like 95% of the time, somebody wants to paint a garage, we're just painting them on an off-white, and just spraying them one coat, and we just mask off all the pipes. We mask off the water heater, the HVAC system. They have to have everything out of the garage. I'm not going to be working around anything, so we quickly just shield footings, everything, and shoot the thing. We mask off the garage door openers, and make nice clean lines on everything, and shoot it, and it's done. And literally, I don't think there's any garage that's ever taken me more than a day to do. And so depending on what the going rates are, I'm going to charge to go out probably $2,500 to shoot a garage, and so it all depends on your rates, and once again the going rates in your area. So don't take what I tell you and go bid that, because you may get paid more, or it may be way too high. But just try to understand what you can actually get in your area. So hopefully that answers your question. It's a good money-making opportunity.
Someone is wondering, when is it appropriate / not appropriate to use a sprayer inside a home? So much content on both with equal amounts of criticism.
Yeah, so that is a really good question, and we'll probably, I don't know how long we've been going, but it might be the final question. How long have we been going now?
About 43 minutes.
Yeah, so this will be the last question. So it's a really good question. So I get comments like, people see me like rolling a wall or brushing some trim, and they'll be like, I thought you spray everything, and we don't spray everything. There's a time and a place for everything. I gotta say, in most situations, a rolled wall finish looks better. So in an expensive home, that's not, and there's a lot of different scenarios. If your walls are like a level 5 smooth finish and you roll it, you're going to add some type of stippling to it, and so is that going to be acceptable with the client? So can you roll it? If you can't, then you spray it. And so some scenarios, spraying is going to be the only option or the best option. In other scenarios, rolling is going to be the best option. We see in my area, it's rare that we ever see a level 5 or a smooth finish. It's usually orange peel texture or Sun Valley texture, and on an orange peel texture wall, by far the best looking finish you'll ever get is rolling the walls. To make money, we roll with a pressure roller. So an interfeed roller from Titan, you can get them at Paint Life Supply Co. It attaches to your airless sprayer, continuous feed. You're never dipping and rolling. You're going to be 4 to 5 times faster. If you've never seen one, if you've never used one, they're absolute money makers. So a ceiling, if the ceiling has a sheen to it, And if it has an orange peel texture to it, they're really, really difficult to spray, especially if it's really warm inside the house. I like to roll ceilings. It's your finish is going to look a lot better. And so there's a lot of different scenarios, and there's never one right or wrong answer to, any of them. If this is a flip, if it's a rental unit, rolling walls, you're not gonna make any money. You gotta shoot the thing, blow and go, get in and out. If the people are just flipping the house, spraying everything, and just get in and out is how you're actually gonna make money. Now, if you're in a $2 million home, there's no way I'm going to be spraying walls. I'm going to be rolling walls, rolling ceilings. We're accustomed to spraying inside, and we're not worried about overspray because we're covering everything, dropping everything. It's part of the process. It's still fast and efficient once you learn to do it. Now, let's talk about trim. If you ever want the best finish on trim, you can argue with me till you're blue in the face that you can brush and roll it and get just as good a finish you can. So spraying will always give you the best finish. We always spray our trim, I'll say 99% of the time. Now, it was maybe 2 years ago, I was doing a remodel on an old duplex. I wanted a hand brush trim or hand brush look on the trim, so I hand brushed all the trim to get that good quality look. Now, you can get an amazing finish hand brushing, rolling, if you use the right product. And the best product I've ever used for hand brushing and rolling to get close to a sprayed finish is Benjamin Moore Advance. Emerald Urethane is also a good product too. So 2 good products if you're hand brushing and rolling. So spraying it's kind of a complicated thing. There's just so many different situations, so many different scenarios. Can you afford to have any overspray on, or just dust, silica dust? If there's no way you can have any of that, then brushing and rolling is going to be fine. But spraying paint is applying the paint faster than you can ever apply it with a roller. So on the exterior of the house, if you brush and roll the exterior of the house, the entire thing, you're never going to make any money, man, unless you bid it 5 times higher than a guy that's spraying, so you're just not going to make money. But there's a time when spraying, you need to back brush and back roll it to get it to adhere, to get it to penetrate properly. So we're just getting into all kinds of scenarios and stuff, but you can kind of see like the topic. We've gone all over the place. There's a time and a place for it, and you've seen me do all kinds. Just yesterday I was doing cut-ins not using frog tape, and you eventually see that because people are like thinking like I always just cut in with frog tape. I never not tape stuff. There's a time and place for everything. So you'll eventually see me cutting in around a door jamb and a window, not using frog tape. So I think it really comes down to what's best for you and the situation you're working with, and what's going to give the result that your client is going to be happy with, and what's going to eventually give them the best result when it comes to the longevity of the product, and the product lasting, adhering, and being good for the client. So me, it's always what's best for my client, to make them happy, to make the product last, and to get them to refer me to all their friends and family. And that's what and then giving them the best price. So I don't want to like overcharge them. I want to charge a fair price that they can afford. And there's times when the budget constrains you to doing only certain things, like if it's an apartment complex, they can't afford to sit there and pay you to brush and roll the entire thing because it's going to be too expensive. They just want you to blow and get in and out, get the next renter in because they're going to be in there for probably 6 months, and then the next person's going to come in. So there's the short answer to your question. So hopefully that answered your question. And I don't know if there's any other dire questions that you guys had, or we can close things out. We're always limited by time because that camera looking at me right there likes to overheat. So, you know, well, we're running multiple cameras, so when that one overheats, we can obviously shut to move to a different camera. So anyways, there you go. We got on live to talk about expert stain and seal machine. Let me see where we are now, if the numbers have gone up, you know, once again, because we were at 6.5. Now we're at 6.6 million views on Instagram. So it's still rolling, and people are still making comments and sharing and making questions. So if you have any questions and comments, you know, about what I talked about today, leave it down in the comment section below. If you got any comments about the machine, you can ask it below, or you could go to paintlifesupply.com. In the chat icon, that's where you can ask us questions, you know, live. Also, you can check out the machine, ask questions about the stain and seal expert stain and seal machine, and see how much it costs. See if it's something, you know, you may be interested in making money using. So, thanks for being with us today. This video, once it's done, it's posted for you to watch anytime, you know, on my YouTube channel, Paint Life TV. We'll see you guys. Out.